5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to the Community Foundation Spotlight. I'm your host, Doug Wilson. I'm the president and CEO of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. And with me today is Major Ken Morris, because he prefers to be called Ken. Ken Morris from the Salvation Army, and we're very happy to have you here with us today, Ken. Thanks.
Well, it's very happy to be here, and always appreciate support from the Community Foundation. You keep our money, keep it well, and give us nice interest checks, and we appreciate that.
You like that part?
Oh yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, let's get to the question so we can find out what's going on with the Salvation Army, eh? You're coming up on a 100-year anniversary.
We're very excited about that.
What kind of plans do you have for this anniversary?
Well, actually, we came into the Salisbury area in 1913 around November, and so we're actually starting off even in advance. November 1st, even though we haven't reached the 100-year yet, it's the 2013. As we launch our Christmas season, we'll actually be telling the community. We've already actually had a few conferences where we've announced it, but as we go into our Christmas celebration, our kickoff for the kettle bell ringing will also be our kickoff for our year's worth of celebrations of our 100th year.
Wow.
Each of our kettle locations will actually have a separate strip going across the kettle sign that we'll be using for the next 2 years, where it says celebrating 100 years of service in the Lower Eastern Shore.
How old, when you say 100 years, you're really talking about the Salvation Army movement as an organization in the United States, or are you just talking about?
Well, actually, we came to the States even earlier before that.
Right.
We started in London, England in 1865.
Wow.
And in the early 1900s, we were in the States already.
Okay.
But again, not many places have been around for 100 years in the States, so we're certainly one of the newer Salvation Army command posts in the nation.
Wow. Terrific. What a history. How's your football season going?
A large football season, as large as any.
Really?
Over 1,000 children are involved. We have over 30 teams. Each team has about 30 members, and so that's 900 right there. Plus, we also have cheerleaders, more cheerleaders than about 3 times as many cheerleaders as we had last year. Wow. And so this is our largest season. We have other sports as well, but our football season, we're still the largest and cheapest league, and we're thrilled. That's one of the first things we started in the Salisbury area was the football, because there was no league at that time. Now there's a little bit of competition out there, but we still pride ourselves in the largest league. Some of the others might have like 300, 400 members, but we actually have members, and then we have others like 200 who just play. They actually are outside teams that come in. You can be a member and then get a reduced rate, and it helps you if you have more than one sport. If you play more than one sport with the Salvation Army, it's cheaper just to be a member. You can be a member for $30 and then pay the fee for the membership for the sport. But if you're a non-member, just want to play one sport, and we actually have about 200 folks who either play basketball or just football, and they're not even members of our club, but they come in and play sports. So we're actually talking 1,600 people in all of our 3 clubs, and about 1,000 involved with the football itself.
Great. God bless. That's wonderful. Is this time of year, are the needs greater now than at other times of the year? Or what's your perspective on when the greatest needs are being met?
Well, it's kind of funny. I went to my dry cleaners in January, and she said, well, I guess we won't be seeing you for a while. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, your Christmas season's over, so I guess you just shut down. And I said, no, ma'am, we actually have an active program going on year-round, but certainly the Christmas season is our biggest season. Right. And we're more out there and more involved, and it's our largest yearly fundraiser, and we take care of Christmas needs and also other things. But all throughout the year, the need is still there. And again, here in the Lower Eastern Shore, there's still a recession going on. You can see by the struggles with the United Way that we're very happy with our partnership with them, and they're doing a wonderful job. But again, as they struggle, we all struggle. Right. And so certainly the needs are great. And even this week, as we've been taking the applications for Christmas, we've noticed that the needs are increasing. Last year we gave out 100, well actually 2 years ago, we gave out 100 food baskets in just the Crisfield Pocomoke area. There was a total of 1,000 given out all across. Last year, they actually increased in the Crisfield Pocomoke area up to 300. So we went from 100 in just that area to 300. And last year we gave out a total of 1,000. This year it may get up to 1,200. The needs are greater even this year.
You know, for those food baskets, do you collect food? Do people give it to you? Do you go out and purchase it, or how do you?
Well, we have some wonderful corporations that help us out at Christmas time. Particularly Purdue will actually donate 1,000 chickens
Wow.
for us.
Lovely.
Now, if we have to go over that, then we'll buy the rest. We have another group that gives us a very reduced rate on milk, and we also give out a dozen eggs. And we also, and then other things are purchased with the funds that are raised during the Christmas season. But it's a heavy box. In fact, I sometimes complain about how heavy it is because the volunteers, they can't even carry it. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
And so we actually have, well, I mean, the clients. So we don't even ask the clients to carry. We have volunteers, but their backs are hurting at the end of the day because these boxes are so heavy. But we bring in a lot of volunteers. Actually, the first weekend, December 8th, we'll have this big time where a lot of volunteers will come out and help us make these 1,000 or now maybe 1,200 food boxes.
Wow.
And they're very sturdy boxes. But again, once you put the turkey in there and you put the eggs in there and the milk and everything, it's a pretty hefty box. And we're glad to give them that amount of food, but it is heavy. So we have strong volunteers to help carry it to the car for them. Yeah.
Good for you. You know, when you were talking about your visit to the dry cleaners, and then she was wondering what, after the holiday season, you were kind of, won't see you for a while, and then you kind of alluded to, oh no, we do other things, and I know you have you have some after-school programs and tutoring programs. Can you just give us an overview of
again,
those?
we have our Latchkey program where people come, either they're brought to us after school or we pick them up from different schools. We have a number of vehicles that go out to the schools. We'll have, in our West Club, we have about 40 right now in our after-school program. In our East Club, we have about 20 now. And then anybody involved in sports, if they're not averaging a C in all of their grades, they are required to be in our tutoring program.
Okay.
So this is in addition to the Latchkey after-school program, we have an additional simultaneous tutoring program going on for those students in sports. And again, if it's football now, maybe basketball later, or flag football, or whatever the case may be. Those that struggle with it's an additional motivation to help them with their schoolwork. We don't want to just teach them sports. We want to teach them whole character building programs. And so they're required to be in the tutoring program to help them get the grades up. Now, once they start getting in the tutoring program, they can still compete and be involved in football. Now, if they don't show up for tutoring, then they can't play in the next football game.
Right.
But as long as they're there, even though their grades may not be up to par yet, as long as we help them work towards that, that's the goal. And then hopefully most of them do get in much better shape and get their grades up and then continue with the football season.
Wow.
Other seasons.
That's great. And I know you have a summer day camp program too, don't you?
Yes, very active summer
How'd
day
that
camp
go?
program.
Yeah.
Well, we had a very good, successful summer program. One of our limitations is vehicles because we need more vehicles to help move the folks around. But the West Club actually has a 40-passenger bus, so they can actually maneuver more people on a daily basis. And we have a 15-passenger minibus at the East Side. So the West Club actually had about 80 during the summer program, and the East Club, though it has the huge football program, these other programs aren't quite as large. They had about 30 this past year. And we do bring them together and have them use the pool, the outside pool. We go on outings together. We bring them all together in the church for Vacation Bible School. That's so exciting to see over 130 people in our church building with teaching them Bible and having them ask questions and stuff, small groups in the different age groups and whatnot. Exciting time to let them know that God loves them and cares for them.
That's great. I just want to remind our viewers that you're watching the Community Foundation Spotlight, and I'm Doug Wilson, your moderator, the president and CEO of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and I'm here with Major Ken Morris.
Yes, very happy to be
the
here.
Salvation
Yes,
Army. Let's talk about this upcoming Christmas season. What are your plans? What's going on?
Well, for the last 3 years, we had a goal of reaching $200,000. We were very happy to finally reach that goal last year. We actually raised around $207,000.
Wow.
This goal, again, we're not sure. It depends on the number of volunteers. It depends on the weather. It depends on the economy. But our goal is 210. And again, that will take care of our Christmas needs and then help us as we go into the winter months with additional financial assistance. We have over 20 spots where we're asking folks to come out and volunteer. We actually use around, well, for our regular sports, we use about 500 volunteers during the year. But at Christmas time, because it's a total volunteer effort, and again, that's rare. I'm probably less than 10 across the nation where it's a total volunteer effort. But we actually have over 3,000 people that came out on a regular basis, and we have all their emails and phone numbers, and we're calling them now saying, can you come out again?
Yeah.
Can this group come out again? And we also have something new this year, which I just found out about a few years ago. It's been tested in different places, and we're going to test it out in this area now, because some people come up to our kettle location, they say, well, I don't carry cash, or I'd rather give online. But we actually have now, it was set up just a couple days ago, a virtual kettle online. And if you go online, you can actually set up your own kettle and raise money in your own kettle, or you can tie into a company kettle. We actually have a company kettle. If you go to online, let's see what it's called. It's called redkettleonline.org and then slash Salisbury MD. If you go to that, you'll actually find our company pot, and it will tell you exactly how much has been raised at that point. You can give a donation online, and as soon as you give it, you go back up to that spot, and your name appears on the spot and the amount you've given, and it's a little competition. And we have teams, individuals, and I've got an individual pot as well. And my goal for my individual pot is $500. And then we'll see what the corporate pot can do. And some of our board members have already set up their own pots and a little competition. So if you don't want to come out to our actual kettle, we have online virtual kettles you can go and give money to. And that will all shut down as of January 31st. And then in October 1st, they allow us to set up the kettles again online. And so it's been very successful in Texas. And this year, hopefully it'll help in the Salisbury area as well.
That's terrific. Salvation Army moves into the 21st century.
That's right. I'm trying to get there because I got a lot to learn about computers and being more savvy, but it's exciting. It's exciting.
That's terrific. Yeah. Online giving is a good way to go. Is it too late to sign up to be at a kettle? Or
no. Our volunteers are very aggressive, and some of our staff are very aggressive calling the folks who rang before. But we actually have a separate location already lined up for Christmas, and we have a special number that we've reserved with Verizon. It's called 410-749-7464, which is actually the numbers for Ring. So you can't remember 7464, just think of 410-749-RING. And you call that number, and that's our Christmas location. They actually have, for each location, a large banner on the wall with all the locations and all the slots. Wow. And as you call them and tell them what you're interested in, they can actually go to that wall, that banner for Walmart or Kmart or Sam's or whatever, and say, yep, we have a spot here on that day or that time. They mark you in there, then they put it on the computer, and they send you a reminder, and then they hope you come out and everything works out, and then we tell you how much you raised. And so it's wonderful. Oh. And yeah, we have a lot of slots still open, and that's the deal, is to get all the spots filled so that we'll have people out there ringing the whole time. Absolutely. And in all the spots. And again, last year we had a mild winter. 2 years ago, it got very cold, and some naturally so, they had to cancel, we understand. Inside the mall is filling up fast, so if you want to get inside, you got to call soon. Yep. But the other spots are certainly available, and inside the mall as well. Right. But again, as we fill the spots up and get all the bells ringing all across town, that will help us have another successful season.
Well, I know the staff at the Community Foundation is working in conjunction with the Salisbury Sunrise Rotary Club to fill slots up.
Very good.
I'm in there in a slot filled up.
Yeah. Thank you.
From what I understand, if we don't get all the slots filled that we need filled, I'm getting put in.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I had to not only choose my slot, but where else I could go if needed.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
I'll be out there doing my thing.
Thank you. Very good.
Well, when does all the bell ringing start?
Well, we have our big kickoff again for our 100th year as well on November 1st, Thursday, down at the what's that place called? Fountain, excuse me. The Fountain.
Oh, okay.
You're fine. Yes, I meet there every Tuesday for my Rotary Club, the Wacomico Rotary Club, another good Rotary Club. And we hope to have about 300 folks there. It's free meal, breakfast. If you want to come, just call and let us know you'd like to come. That will kick off the season. The bells themselves will kick off. Some locations allow us to go out the week before Thanksgiving, but certainly after Thanksgiving is when we're in full thrust going, and we'll go all the way up till Christmas Eve.
Wow. I know, I enjoy it. It's it's an hour of my time once. We kind of let it go for an hour.
Okay.
And then we meet people and we exchange and we put the apron on and ring the bell. My only problem was I had to fix the darn bell a couple of times.
Oh, dear. Well, we've ordered new supplies. So hopefully we'll have new bells that are working better this year. But again, an hour is good because you can stay enthusiastic for an hour. Those that give 4 and 6 hours, sometimes it's kind of waning on them. So I like the folks that come out for an hour or 2 hours because they can be real enthusiastic. And with all volunteers, they're out there, they look sharp, and they're there knowing that all the money is going to help people. So this community is so wonderful. Yeah. Oh, I'm so grateful and so humbled by this community and the way they stand up and rally around the Salvation Army for these 99, 100 years. Yeah. Oh, it's just so humbling and so rewarding. Yeah.
I want to ask you about what you have in mind, or what the Salvation, I guess, for you or our area, for really, for the next 100 years. What is the Salvation Army going to be up to? What are you going to be?
We've been thinking about that. Okay. And I'd love to be here for 100 years, but as I look over the last 100 years, and we're very happy with where we've come and with the wonderful community support, funds are still tight. And if we could get even our general fund increased by about $20,000 or $30,000, that would make it a lot easier on a yearly basis to make all of our obligations. Our buildings are getting old. Again, we've got a building that was, our thrift store was built in 1986, so it's over 20 years old. Our main administration building was built in 1965, so it's even more than that. We just recently had to put a new gym, a roof on our older gym. We've got 2 gyms, well actually 3 gyms in town, 2 with the East Club, 1 with the West Club. That building is holding up very well. It's like 11 years old, and that's our newest building. We don't have a building in Crisfield. We're using the Armory building over there. We've been there over 28 years. We'd love to have our own building over there. Even our staff, we're very happy with our 30+ employees, but very few full-time. Even with these huge club programs, we rely almost too heavily on our volunteers. I mean, it is this huge East Club, 1,000 people involved in our football program. We only have 2 full-time people. We have the club director who's full-time, and we have the sports director who's full-time. And then we have like 4 other part-time people. The West Club only has 1 full-time person. The club in Crisfield, over 700 people involved in Crisfield. The only program there, only 1 full-time employee. So if we could get each club to have like 2 full-time employees, that would further enhance, we love our volunteers, but we don't want to overwork the volunteers. Vehicles, I mean, I mentioned earlier, you know, we have 1 40-passenger bus, but that mainly stays at the West Club. So they can pick up 40 passengers, but if they want to go out and pick up a small group, that's all they have is the 40-passenger bus. So it's a shame to take the 40-passenger bus out to pick up 10 people.
Right.
And so for large groups, that's great, but, you know, then at the West Club, the East Club, we just have this minibus. So we can't pick up 40 people. Sometimes we borrow the large bus, but again, we both have 2 programs going on. You go out to Crisfield, all they have is a 12-passenger van. We were lucky to secure that as a nice donation from the volunteer fire department last year. But again, with 700 club members over there, a 12-passenger van is not enough.
No.
So I'd like for each club to have a minibus, at least a 15-passenger bus. Even though we have the large bus, there are times that we don't need the large bus. It's good to have a small vehicle available. So again, vehicles, employees, money towards our endowments, maintenance endowments to help us with our old buildings and other things. And again, our general pot. You know, we have mail appeals all throughout the years, our Christmas fundraising, and we struggle. Even this past year, we struggled with, should we have more staff, less staff, help more people, help less people? And we've actually streamlined our staff. And some people say maybe we don't have enough staff now. Well, you know, we're all doing double duty, but we want to help people. That's what we're here for. And we want to continue to help our young people's programs, to keep the funding low and to have available for people to be off the street and with our programs. So we struggle with, can we be all to all things to all people? No. Should we be more focused on our youth? But, you know, United Way helps us with money for food and for direct financial assistance, and we're glad to be able to do that. And since we already have the families coming to us, if they have other needs, we'd like to be able to help those needs as well.
Right.
So, you know, we're very happy. We're in good shape. We're holding our own. We have no intention of streamlining anymore. Our programs are continuing to flourish. But, yeah, there always are financial burdens. And as we go into the next 100 years, we don't know what the future holds. But we hope that we can stay up, and we trust the community will continue to rally around us. And we trust that maybe, you know, greater things may happen. Yeah.
Is there a capital campaign in your future for to replace some of these aging buildings, or?
Well, we've been looking over the past few years. There was a capital campaign about 15 years ago. It was a maintenance campaign, actually, where we actually raised money just to maintain our property. When we opened up that West Club, there were other promises made and other funding sources that we thought would be available to help maintain that building. In fact, one source said that they would give us $200,000 a year to help maintain that building. And we had the capital campaign to build the building. So, you know, we actually, when people came to say, how can they help? We said, we'd rather help you maintain it rather than build it. So we had the capital campaign just, you know, 12, 13 years ago to build that. So you don't want to overtax the community. And again, looking at the environment now, is now the best time to have a capital campaign? I don't know. With that program up and running, that $200,000 source did not come through. And so, you know, if that had come through, you know, we would have had $2-3 million available to help us maintain it these past 11, 12 years, which we didn't have. We got it for like the first year, maybe second year, and then it stopped. So that's why we try to build up our endowments and other things to help compensate for that. But again, you know, some people have said, do you have too many buildings? Do you need to shut down this building, do this, do that? Well, we're not thrilled about this, but we actually shut down our club in Pocomoke. And we're sorry about that, and the city was not happy about that. But there is a beautiful YMCA over there, and we're trying to make partnerships with them and stuff. They still have a football team. They come over and play with us, and that's good. We shut down our child care program because the need was no longer there, and it was draining our finances. In fact, the story is told that originally the hospital came to us And that was one reason why we opened it originally, was the hospital needed help. Some of the nurses were coming on board and had children and wanted to come and be a child care. Well, now, as you know, the hospital has their own child care. So that need is no longer there, and we made sure that all the parents found other places to take their children. And so we've shut down the Pocomo Club, we shut down the child care, and that has helped us regroup some.
Good.
And we're still looking at, looking at older buildings or this, that, and the other. We just put a new roof on the old gym. Our thrift store, we just put in brand new heat and air, and we're planning on renovating some of the stores, so we'll have more shopping area, opening up like 30% more shopping area. And that brings in, it clears over $100,000 to bring over to our general fund for direct financial assistance. So that's wonderful. So again, bell ringing, come shop in our thrift store, donate stuff to our thrift store. I'm talking, well,
I think that's fantastic. People
I'm
need
excited.
To hear that.
I'm happy.
In
yes.
fact, before we end up, I want you to redo the numbers and the website again to sign up for bell ringing.
Okay.
And the telephone number, if you wouldn't mind.
All right.
Why don't you do that
again
right
with
now?
the Christmas time? Our bell ringing traditional number for bell ringing: 410-749-RING. 7464.
That's 7464 ring. And what's the
online kettle?
Yeah.
Online kettle. You go to onlineredkettle.org/Salisbury. MD. That's our company, Salisbury area. You can set up your own pot. Just go to that generic site, onlineredkettle.org. You can actually set up your own kettle and encourage the funds to go to Salisbury. You can have your own competition. You can be a team. You can be under the company. You can be standalone. Some of our board members have their pots out there, and they're raising money. And again, you can go to that site at any point in time, and it gives you a live update. It has the names of people who are donating, and it's a friendly competition, and we'd love to see that go like wild cakes, yeah.
Great. Major Ken, it's been a pleasure and an honor to have you here, and I think our viewers are going to know you're a pretty passionate fellow about the Salvation Army.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
and
it's wonderful.
God bless us and God bless you that you're here helping do all the things that you do for our communities. We love it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you
and
very
to
much.
our viewers, thanks very much for watching this Community Foundation Spotlight. And all the best, and remember the Salvation Army this Christmas season. Don't walk by a kettle without throwing something in there. Thanks very much. See you later.
Would you like to see your community organization or nonprofit group featured on PAC 14? To get started, contact us at 410-677-5014 or visit our website at www.pac14.org. PAC 14 is a great way to connect with your community.